Yo, what's up, y'all? This is a platform where we speak about hip-hop culture, competitions, battles, workshops, who got smoked, and everything about breaking right here on Tour Talk.
Alright, that was the intro by Wicket.
Hey,
dope,
nice,
man.
man.
That was banging though, right?
Yeah,
I like
for hooking that up.
Yeah, that's that AI. They got a new app called AI Beat Maker thing, so easy work.
What up, y'all? You are in tune with Tour Talk. This is the first podcast on our schedule for the year. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, groundbreaking, y'all. Tour Talk. First episode. This is something special for the entire breaking scene. And,
yes, sir.
Some exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, my name is Cros One. I'm representing Freestyle Session, Pro Breaking Tour, UDEF, Armory Massive, and yeah, hopefully you guys already know who I am. But if not, you're gonna get to know me a little even better.
Yo, my name is Romeo Navarro, coming out of Austin, Texas, representing Bboy City, also part of Pro Breaking Tour. You know, we're gonna talk more about that in a little bit. Stay tuned.
And I go by the name of Bboy Wicket, representing the Renegade Rockers, Flying Tortillas, and the BreakBook.
my man brought up flying tortillas.
Oh yeah, you know we got to get that credit in.
Yeah,
that's what's so. That's crazy. That's crazy that something that happened so long ago is still prevalent to this day.
Gotta bring it back.
So yeah, man, it's it's about to be June. In a couple days. Yeah.
We already halfway done with the year, y'all. That's time flies. Wild. You know, we got to make every moment count. So, man, we just got to make sure that we execute with our concepts and our events and just making sure that everybody is informed about everything from everything.
Yeah. Time is flying by.
So what have you guys been up to this year? We're like I said, we're in June, so January, February, March, April, May. What's been going down, man?
Yo, so
catch us up.
So we just had the Breaking for Gold USA Nationals in Austin. You know what I'm saying? So I think it went pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Bboy City, you know, it's the home of Austin, so it's kind of known to have that vibe. So Breaking for Gold USA, we had it in the same venue. You know, I know you've been there, Wicket. You've been there too, Cros. It's Paris. It's pretty historic venue in Austin, and it just got that vibe, man. You know, it's got the best sound system, the best lighting. I kind of look for those qualities. Venue is the sound, right? So, and it went pretty good.
And you've been fighting fires, huh?
Yeah, man, we had our lighting fire this morning, bro. You know what I mean? We were training all day yesterday, and then we had a lighting fire this morning. You know, and then trying to take care of the community out here in Austin along with Wick, you know.
So we're not like talking like playing with words. Like Romeo's a real firefighter.
right. For the people that don't know, actually in the truck.
Yeah, in the truck. You know, my co-host Buck Raj. You know, he's also Austin firefighter. You know, we'd going on. He's gonna be going on his maybe 15th year. I'll be going on my 10th year soon.
Whoa, already.
Yeah. So what about you, Wicket?
Well, you know, they said that there's a height requirement, so they said try next time. So I just
they got those shoes now, bro. They got those shoes.
See, I didn't get the memo.
It's messed up when the shoes is half the height, though. You know.
Yeah, you know, that means I gotta put in twice as much work. You know, because of the weight difference.
Yeah. No, I think B-boys make great firefighters. You know what I'm saying? I think it helped me a lot in the academy as far as being a B-boy. Just, I started at my age, I was a little older, but being a breaking kind of kept me in shape as far, got me to the academy.
You're more agile than the average person, you know?
They were like, man, you sure you haven't done this? I go, no, this is my first time.
So what's been going on with you, Wicket?
Man, it's been a crazy year. You know, I did something really interesting. I got asked to teach at a university, Texas State University in San Marcos, and what's really crazy is I don't have a degree. You know, I got a Breakin degree, but
yeah, that's all you need.
That's all. Yeah, but you know, when they first hit me, I was like, wait a minute, who is this? You know, I thought it was a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I never got that type of opportunity before. But when they said, no, we really want you to come down here and to teach for the semester, I said, what's a semester? They said from January to May. What is it? I don't even.
May's right now. We in May right now.
I forget the name of this. I think it's not even what is it? Spring? The spring semester.
Oh yeah, spring semester. Yeah.
And we just wrapped up, man. So what's really crazy is I learned how to teach something as simple as a 6-step. I think 10 different ways.
Nice. So on Monday you did it one way, and then on Tuesday you did it a different way.
Yeah, you know, something that's really crazy like that is I realized I can't just act as if this is a template and apply it to everybody, because everybody has a different body, different mentality. I say right hand goes down, they put the left hand down, you know. So it was like really trying to figure out how to maneuver within the basics and to try to keep everybody engaged. So that was the challenge, man. And just being really like transparent and explain with clarity, like, why is it that you have to put your hand here with your leg here? You know, it just had to be really informal. So, you know, that on top of also doing the BreakBook coaching competitors that were at the nationals, even trying to get to that level. You know, it's been a great experience.
Yeah. Big ups to Breakin for Gold USA. You know, having the nationals in Austin. It could have been anywhere. It could have been, you know, all over the. New York, LA, but you know, Austin was chosen, and I think it's a solid team that's going to be heading out to, I think Belgium, I think for the Worlds, and after that, the winners of that qualifies for the Olympics, 2024 Olympics.
And then for me, you know, I've been back end stuff for Pro Breaking Tour, UDEF. You know, we got new sponsors. We got Snipes, who's the presenting sponsor for the Pro Breaking Tour. We also got a kids tour with Jack in the Box doing, you know, the Youth Breaking Conference and the Youth Breaking Championships.
Yeah, Cros.
So a lot of stuff going on.
Speak on that a little bit, man. Talk about the tour. Like, how did you first get the sponsorship, and then how did you create what cities you wanted to hit?
Well, you know, we already had all the cities. We actually had to take some of the tour stops out because, you know, this year was a pretty crazy thing with the sponsor that they requested certain cities, so we had to move some events to different cities, and then we had to take some off and add different ones in. So, you know, we're hitting Detroit this year, we're hitting Atlanta this year. We're bringing the Pro Breaking Tour open to New York this year instead of Connecticut. So, you know, we made a couple little moves just to appease our sponsors and stuff, which, you know, is cool. I mean, there are a lot more major cities that we're hitting. So, and I think, you know, it's generally a net positive when you are hitting more other cities than the ones that we don't normally hit, you know. So, you know, I don't look at it as a bad thing. I think it's just you know, diversifying our portfolio as far as events that we could do, you know.
How did Jack in the Box come to play? Did they reach out to you? Did y'all reach out to Jack in the Box? I mean, how did that work out? That's what I want to know.
Well, B-Boy Garrett, he works for one of the ad agencies, and he I guess Jack in the Box was one of his clients. So he
who is this B-Boy? Who?
I forget his B-Boy name, but it's Garrett. He's from Concrete All Stars.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
It's funny because like I know him more by his real name now because I don't really talk to him as a B-Boy. I talk to him as you know, somebody on the back end. So like, you know,
most people
all the emails are in real, you know.
Yeah, you finally got to know his real name because most people you don't know their real name. What is, bro? I can't, but I don't want to. Don't use that name, dog. Keep your B-Boy name.
So I was just gonna erase this whole thing, but yeah, you know, a B-Boy. I'm not gonna say because I don't want everybody and their mom hitting him up about sponsorship. But
okay, good. Because I was about to ask you.
So, Cros, I want to ask you, like, on a tour in the cities, what are some of your favorite cities that, you know?
My favorite cities.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always liked going to like New York, you know, I like going to Texas. I like going to Austin. I've actually been there twice this year.
Yeah,
for the Nationals, and I just went on some random. When we did the South by.
You should just move out here.
Yeah, so I was telling them, or buy a house out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I had it like that.
That way we could like, I'm gonna stay there.
I got you. I do the upkeep. I know how to garden.
I'll just rent a garage from one of you guys. You know?
Yeah. Yo, Cros, I'm gonna take you back on a memory lane. You know, like I think I met you at Freestyle Session, but most of the time you were busy. But I think I got kind of like a one-on-one with you whenever you went to Seattle, and then I was out there also when we were hanging out with Circle Fire.
Yeah.
And then when you brought Rainin out, I think he was still like 16, I believe, doing mad head spins. You know, I think that's the first time. I think that's the first time like I had to sit down and talk and start building.
Yeah.
You know, and then Seattle's probably one of my favorite places back in the days to visit.
Were you out there for a certain event?
I was out there for I think it was Freestyle Session in Seattle.
Yeah, we did freestyle. We did Freestyle Session in Seattle, and then the next day, Crazy Legs did a breakbeat event.
Yeah,
this was way before then. This was like 99, 2000 maybe.
Yeah, it was like, and then that's when I first like met Circle Fire. You know, the whole crew, and then I met John Jay and Orb and all those guys, and also the Massive Monkeys. Speaking of Massive Monkeys, you know.
Yeah. Which they're celebrating their big anniversary this weekend, which is Massive Monkey Day.
Right.
Yeah. So which
shout out Massive Monkeys.
Shout out to Massive holding it down.
Which is a tour stop on the tour. Massive Monkey Day, 3-day event. I mean, I know it's one of my favorite events. I'm kind of bummed that I'm not going to be able to go because I'm going to the Pro Am Championships.
Oh, yeah. What? Yeah. In Miami?
Oh no, the Pan America,
yeah.
Pro Am. Yeah, I'm going to the Pan American Championships. It's funny because I keep mixing that up with the Pan Am Games too. So
Pro Am. That's like
Pan American Championships, which Team USA is going to be there. I know Team Mexico is going to be there, and a bunch of other. Like the list is long.
The Pan Am is an official Olympic qualifier, right?
I think it's part of the series, so people can amass. I heard that it's an open event, so people can amass points. Yeah, anybody could go, but it's a part of the series where you amass points to become, eligible for the OQS, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, been learning a little bit. I got my.
They have so much stuff going on. Like even for the nationals, there was a lot of rules. Safe sport. Background checks, all that some of us got to get used to,
I don't want to backtrack, but I feel like we have to, since y'all was talking about Seattle. We got to talk about Lords of the Floor.
Oh yeah. I was at the first one, baby.
I missed the first one, so I'm kind of like a little jealous about that, but just from watching it on video.
Yeah.
I mean, it had an effect on so many people. I mean, what was it like in person?
It was crazy because for me, I think it was, us as b-boys traveling around the world, we got to, I got to see Battle of the Year in person. I got to see UK Championships in person. And this is back when Freestyle Session was in a gym, and even Pro Am was in a gym.
Yeah, even B-Boy
the gym. B-Boy Summit was like in a hall, so it was nothing like a concert type of atmosphere. But the events in Europe were just like next level. The production aspect and everything. So I think Lords of the Floor was the first icebreaker for the United States to have an official fully blown production aspect and everything, big full scale event. So they brought the Great 8, which already had a top 16 spot, and then they had prelims the first day, and then you had I actually was for the first one. I was actually one of the MCs, which at the time I only did MCing for Freestyle Session. So I kind of, it's funny because I listened to it again. I'm like, yo man, I was actually pretty good. Because I just kind of I was with Cutfather, who's my OG, rest in peace.
But I
had to hang with him, man. So Joe Coy ended up doing the second one.
Oh, Joe Coy. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, right.
I was hanging out with Remind and Crumbs. Coming from Austin, Texas. Like going to an event like that was like eye opening. Like I said, okay, I see the future. Kind of like on the like that production level of b-boy events, right? And shout out to Circle Fire, Bob, and all those guys. Just they invited me to go out there. Went out there and I was blown away, B. You know what I mean?
Were you already doing Bboy City?
Yeah, I was already doing Bboy City, but it was on top of this rec. You know what I mean? Like at the recreation centers. They were still at the gyms, like Cros said. But we head out there, and then I've never even heard of Red Bull. Remind was the first. Remind was the first one to give me a can, and he was like, "Yo, taste this." I was like, "What is that, man?"
Taste this.
But like being backstage, and they had like therapists, they had fruit, they had, they were treating. Y'all got fruit back here?
He said fruit, bro. Like,
y'all got some fruit.
Yo, we didn't have that at Bboy City or at the gyms. They were just really taking care of the b-boys like athletes, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think that was the first event that I went to where like we actually had like a better than a 2-star hotel. It was like a 4-star hotel in Seattle, like.
You know what I mean? So it was like,
because back in those days, bro, if you was traveling, like, I mean, getting a hotel like
you were cramming
funded by somebody else, like, you're big time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you were cramming too. You had the whole crew in that room.
You're like, what? You got a hotel room? Like, we're all jamming in your room, like.
Yeah. So some of these kids these days, they just don't understand how like Bboy City, first Bboy Cities, I had like 50 people at my house, like, right? I had like 50, at least 50 people. Some in the garage. I had Circle Fire. Everybody in cots in the garage, on the living room.
Man, you was like a fire station.
Pretty much. Cros One and next, I was like, yo, like everybody. But I'm gonna find those footage one day and just gonna put them out. But everybody, it was intimate at that time though. Everybody's kind of just like good times,
Yo, it's wild because I remembered, I've been doing booth spaces since like '98.
Yo, you were one of the first ones, B. Like just that hustle. I'm like, yo,
so having that hustle, like I was always just getting rooms and stuff on my own, like or once in a while, like if I went to I went to back to Mecca with Vietnam, and we actually stayed at KML's, and he had a studio space in the Bronx, and like. There was no furniture in there. We were sleeping on the floor, like,
Yeah.
So, but we've met so many B-boys and B-girls just on some random stuff like that, and like we've had friendships for like 20 plus years.
Yeah, still till today. Yeah.
From getting to know people like on spot, like, oh, you're a B-boy. Oh, like, you can stay at our crib. You can stay at my spot. Like, oh, word, shoot. Yeah, all right, whenever you come over this way on the West Coast, just hit me up. You can stay at my pad, like.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of that going on.
It's like you automatically fam.
Yeah. That brotherhood, man. That brotherhood, sisterhood. Sometimes you don't even speak the same language. By the way, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. Yeah.
By the way, but we're gonna practice right now. So.
But let me see your moves, though.
It's very very long nights of practicing in an empty living room.
Yeah.
So what's up, Wick? I know you've been doing some coaching. So how's that been going?
Yeah, the coaching has been a great experience. It's teaching me that I can't just apply the same template to everybody. Everyone has different schedules to practice. They got lives to live. They got school. They got work. So it's kind of just like, not because I'm Bboy Wicket and you're gonna listen to what I tell you to do. Here's your assignment. It's the other way around.
Right.
Like I have to cater to their lives.
Right.
And learning that was a game changer for me because it made my whole program change.
Right.
Now I'm here for you instead of you listening to whatever I tell you to do at practice. I have to listen to what you're practicing for, what moves you need to learn, what moves you're trying to learn. I mean, it's like an everyday, like something every day I learn. something different, you know, and my program changes. It seems like it changes every month.
You're like Dr. Wick, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Like, yo, Dr.
So
Wick,
do you feel like because I know like you're coaching some of the top athletes and breakers in the nation, so I would like, you know, my first instinct is why would these such high level breakers need a coach? But have you been seeing them being more open to being coached?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like, you know, your gravity, and you're breaking at such a high level. Why would he need a coach, or why would Jeffro need a coach? And basically, in the beginning, like I would have to tell them, like, look, this is what I see that you're missing. Mm-hmm. This is why you're probably gassing out in the second round. This is how to sustain your energy throughout the entire competition. What if there's a tiebreaker and you're not mentally focused? Well, this is what you do to focus and stay locked in, you know, to win and not blank out while you're battling. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that go into it. What about recovery days? How many days a week are you practicing? Mm-hmm. How many days a week are you recovering and not practicing? You know, there's so many things that breakers don't realize that
discipline.
That can affect the discipline that affects their entire development in competition. So once they heard that, they're like, yo, all right, where do I sign up?
So have they been coming to you for more advice more openly and more often now?
Well, it's not that they come to me. What I do is I observe their battles, and I break it down into like I turn into like an analyst. And I say, look, this is what you did in the first round. Your top rock was 18 seconds too long. You know, and I got a whole list of things, and it's broken down to the T. So they see like, oh, damn, you're right. Okay, this is where I need to insert a safety net, which is like, could be your basic foundation. Instead of doing blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, give me something in between, so that way you don't have to rely on blowing up every move. Save that for later. So
are you seeing them be more open to critique now that you guys have this one-on-one relationship, as opposed to like you telling them what's wrong and they're just like, nah.
Yeah, you know how that B-boy.
My top rocks look fine.
Yeah,
my top rocks look fine. What are you talking about? Like, you know, like
I'll smoke you.
You know, they damn near could smoke me at this point. You know, but I think the trust is there. You know, because you know I've been in the game for almost 30 plus years, and so you know I see how their games need to evolve and what they need to apply into their program, into their breaking, right? And for everyone, like I said, it's different. And once I point something out and it works in practice, and then it works at an event that they're trying to train for, like as practice, then they see, okay, Wicket is on to something.
Yeah.
Yes,
so you know, it takes time. Of course, in the beginning, they're like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think it's
what you talking about, man.
What are you talking about? Man? You don't know, Wick. But I think it's also on that next level where they're learning. They're knowing like I need a coach. Even Jordan had a coach, right? All these great athletes, you know, so they all had coaches. So they needed somebody to tell them, you know, when they're wrong. So
having a coach for sports is like any normal person that has a therapist, you know. Like people have this negative connotation of having a therapist, but there's just a third party to tell you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, you know, like, and just kind of guide you along and make sure that you go on the right path. And you know, like people like Wicket, people like Flo, Bonita, Rainin. I mean, even like us older cats like Romeo and myself. I mean, we could watch somebody break for like, you know, 1 or 2 rounds, and we could tell them like a lot of things that they could do right to make their game elevate and avoid these mistakes that we took, like went back in 25 years.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
Back then, you know. But yeah, like you know, like for me, like my number one misstep on my whole career as far as breaking, it was just that I was never one to like stretch. I was super flexible. But, you know, not stretching, like, it affected my longevity by leaps and bounds. Like, by my late, you know, 20s, I was done. Like, my body, I was doing judo for 16 years. I did wrestling for 8 years. I was breaking for, like, 15, 20 years. So, like, you know, by the time I got to my late 20s, my body was done. My body was done. You know? And that's from years of not stretching and preparing myself to practice or do anything, you know?
Right. And that's another thing that I realized too is we would tell Team USA or whoever we're coaching, this is what you need to do, but we also had to explain why you need to do it. Yeah. And that's something that I didn't realize in the beginning. I would just tell them, like, you need to hit a freeze right here.
Just do it like this, because I said so.
Without explaining why.
Yeah.
So
you're also learning through this process. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no school for this.
So maybe in the future you can, have a coaching mentorship also, right?
Well, I think too, I'm actually as soon as because I'm not one to be a writer, so like it was crazy because I don't know if you know about like open AI and all that stuff. Like,
no,
the AI stuff, like it helps you write a lot. You just kind of input like real quick ideas, and it just kind of articulates it, and will write a whole damn near paragraph. Like, you could write a book for you. You know what I'm saying? So, just taking notes, Wicket too. Like you could probably create a manual on how to coach. Because all these things that you're finding out about, you're kind of trailblazing that aspect of being a coach, and you could pass that down to the next generation of coaches.
Because all this is so new to us, so.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy, man? I know what's up with AI, right? But just for fun, I typed in there, what is a 6-step?
Yeah.
And it laid down everything.
No way.
Really?
Where it came from. This is the hip hop culture. I was just like,
what?
That's wild. Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion, but it's gonna. Shoot, maybe one day it'll just tap into our brain. We don't have to sit here and do the podcast. It'll just do it for us. I'm kidding. So on to the next. Romeo, what's up with the Bboy City preparations, man? I know you guys are coming up.
Probably Bboy City 29. You know what I'm saying?
29 years.
No, not 29 years. I think it's the 25th year, 26th year, but it'd be because I did 4 events the first 2 years. The first 2-3 years, every 6 months I did a Bboy City. Back then there was no events. You know what I mean?
Because for Bboy City you started in what, 99?
98, right after you.
98.
Yeah, yours was 97.
But you had actually been doing events prior to like me, because I started in 97 late.
Yeah. And I was doing events as 93, 94. Underground stuff, bro.
My first brush with promoting was like mid 97. I was helping somebody do an event, and then even before then, actually my high school senior year in 93. I'm dating myself here, but 93. I was talking about doing a big rave and stuff, in some kind of jam where breakers could go to. It was crazy. So
you know what's funny though? Back in those days, that's where we went to break at rave.
Yeah. That's why. That's the only reason why I wanted to do one, because I actually started New Year's Eve from 92 to 93. So what?
93 till infinity.
1st, 1992. Yeah. So we went to this event. It was at Knott's Berry Farm, which is kind of like a Disneyland type thing, but just more rides and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So Wicket got a call or something. But yeah, I went to that. There was Black Sheep on there. There was Das Effects was on the bill. So there was this whole house music side, but then on the other side was hip hop. So there was mad circles, and this was in LA. So there was mad circles. People were breaking, and I had used to break in 83, 80, 45 ish. Right when Beat Street Breakin came out, so I still had my moves. So when we went to this jam, I was like, I could still do this stuff. Let's get with it. And then after it was all said and done, I just kept going. I was like, yo, we need to start practicing. We need to go to more of these. This is the illest, and we just made it happen.
Yo, Wig, I got a question. So what year was Radiotron?
Man, when we first went down there, it was.
Hey, Wick, your video is off.
Is it?
Yeah.
Weird. Is it still off?
Mm-hmm.
I see him across.
Oh, never mind. It just said it's on. It'll be on. It's just off for us for some reason.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Okay. So Radiotron.
Yeah, Radiotron was in 95, I believe.
95. Okay.
Summer 95. This was before we battled style elements.
Yeah, so I remember
that was way prior because you guys did the whole. We were actually in the prelims when you guys were. It was like us, you guys, and then Freestyle, and then they picked you two to battle for the next Radiotron.
Ah, okay, yeah. Oh, that's right. There were two. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right. So the first one we had to
I thought it should have been us, but I mean, I might be biased, but like my crew is pretty nice.
whoever Caesar picked as judges.
I mean, like at those times, man, we were seeing those videos on VHS, so I was like, so in those times in Texas there was a lot of beef, and so there was a lot of beef, and I wanted to unify all the crews because we were like, still half banger, half b-boys. So, and I got a hold of style elements, and I wanted to bring an outside crew we're gonna bring an outside crew to be. They'll decide who's the best.
This was like when like 98,
97, 98, man. So, and that's when they
was it. I think I was there.
I think you were too. I think you were on the flyers.
I was DJing.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah.
Right. This is when Marlon and Rudy won.
Yeah. So that was the second one.
So what was that event called? That was Bboy City.
Bboy City, and it was and Equality made the video Flavor to Burn. So we kind of went half on it. Yeah. I was like, you make the video, and then it's Bboy City, because the first one was called Hip Hop Restaurant, dedicated to the 4 elements, food for your soul. But then only like 10% of the other elements showed up. It was like 300 b-boys, and I was like, yo, it's Bboy City up in here. That's when it's a number.
Yeah, that whole VHS era was just dope because like you'd go to an event, maybe 3 or 4 months later, you'd see the video pop up, and then it just kind of like changed everything. Yeah, people were just like, oh, that's what happened.
Yeah,
like, I hadn't heard about it,
but the hustle of the West Coast, man. I mean, like you came to the event. I didn't have any booths. I didn't have nothing to sell. But I remember reminding Crumbs and going to the mall, and they just like bought up all these stuff that were like on sale, like Adidas, and went back to the jam and set up a booth and just like, yo, I was like, okay, I was learning, man. You know what I'm saying? So
they had the retail arbitrage.
Yeah, bro.
In real time.
And Crumbs had these cameras and videos. They had those. What is it like?
That's when they had the big old Canon. Like it looked like a Canon, but it was like a real.
It carried that thing. Yeah,
we could afford those type of cameras back in the days. You know what I mean? It was like huge, and it was like, like movie making cameras, man. Yeah. So that really inspired me, and just to go bigger to now like Bboy City 29 coming up.
I would say how we got that hustle too was from like Crazy Legs, Mr. Wiggles. Mr. Wiggles had a whole catalog. I mean, he could buy whatever from him. Like he had, I know he had like graffiti stuff going on. He had videos. He had popping stuff. And like he had a straight up catalog. Like, you just looked at the catalog, you picked out what you wanted.
That's nice.
You sent him a check, and then you just hope that he sent you something back.
It was built off of trust. That's how we trust. We trust each other.
There was no websites back in the days, right? There was no Freestyle Session, no breakcheck.com.
Yeah, even our first time selling our video, I think because bboy.com was popping back then. Like it was one of the first online platforms.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I had bought a little banner space for like $50 to $100 a month. And then they would click it, and then it says, boom, send $30 to this address right here, and we'll mail you a VHS tape of Freestyle Session.
Yeah.
I would see money orders and checks like come in like every other day.
No, Cros, but the flyers though, right? So your flyers made me step up. I'm like, yo. When I saw that, I'm like, oh,
press.
Look at these. I mean,
Press One.
You gotta give up. I mean, I think those guys took our events to that next level. You know what I mean? Because those what made.
Well, that's what I had told Press, like, because I see him every now and then around here, but they don't give themselves enough credit, like the spends, the presses, even like Easy Rock had made some of the B-Boy Summit flyers. Press even made some of the B-Boy Summit flyers. But to me, like, if you had a legit flyer that had the dopest artwork, then everybody's gonna want to come. Yeah. So when I first started doing my event, you know, I had gotten like Saki did one of my flyers. I had Severe and Press do one of my flyers. But when I finally sat down, I was like, I need a visual for what I'm doing. I had to get Press. Yeah. So
that basically sets the tone.
Yeah. I mean, my guy down here is Bobby Dixon. He's not one of the he designed stuff for the Austin FC a bunch, but the first few B-Boy cities, like B-Boy City 4 to like B-Boy City 10, he did all the flyers and shirts. But he took us took me and B-Boy City to that next level, you know. Yeah. And we got to give big ups to these designers. You know, but like that's before the internet and all that. So
yeah, it would make or break an event.
Yes,
for having a dope flyer. I mean, I even see like pretty horrible flyers now where I'm like, dude, I really want to go to this event.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's
pathetic.
It's you know, you gotta put some effort into it, right? So like, you know, so for people to recognize, like you can tell when like, okay, they put like Cros put his mind and these artists into this flyer, right? So you put a lot of love into it, so it'll get people's attention. You can tell. Back in the days, there's so many flyers. Everybody had a flyer, right? You
had to stand out from the crowd. You had to give because back then we were giving out flyers a lot to people hand to hand. So now, if I'm going to give you a flyer, what's going to make you read it? What's going to make you look at it?
Yeah. Are you still passing out? Are you still passing out flyers?
We still print a little bit. We don't print as much as we used to. I mean, we used to print like 150,000 flyers and have a whole street team. Bombarding every event.
That was the fun part, was having that street team. We would really just hit up the cities, go to different events, and just bomb the cities. You know what I'm saying? Like graffiti style.
I actually met Polo that way. I was handing out flyers at the Key Club before who was it? I want to say like a Far Side show. And I was passing out flyers, and Polo just grabs the flyer. He looks at it, he's like, who you work for? Like banging on me, like, who you work for? And I'm like, I work for myself. Yeah, I was like, I work for myself, bro. Because I'm a smart ass. So I was like, I work for myself. What are you talking about? He's like, oh, you're Cros One? And I was like, yeah. And G-Wiz was our mutual homie. He had been telling us for years to like link up. And then finally we linked up in person, and man, like that night he literally grabbed the stack of flyers from me, like half of them, and started passing them out with me so that we could be done quick. And then he's like, yo, you gonna go into the show? I was like, I don't even have a ticket, man. I was just coming out here to promote. He's like, yo, come with me, I'm on the list.
The hustle, baby. The hustle.
He gets us in. We go to the VIP. We have a good old time. Got a couple drinks. At the end of the night, he gives me his card. He's like, yo, if you need anything in LA, just hit me up. And as the story goes, 1 week before my event, Freestyle Session 5, I lost my venue, and I had called Polo, and he literally said,
which venue was this?
This was it was supposed to be at Cal State LA.
Okay.
No, this was Freestyle Session 5.
Okay.
Remember when you guys got lost in the first time? No, I'm kidding. I'm messing.
You remember.
Actually,
we're just gonna edit this out. No, I was kidding.
I don't remember that. Actually, I don't even know what we're talking about.
Anyways, it was Freestyle Session 5. It was actually supposed to be at Cal State LA or Long Beach, one of those two. But I hadn't even laid out where the event was going to be, because back then we weren't telling people where the event was going to be, because taggers and writers would tag the spot. So we didn't say anything, so nobody even knew the story. But we ended up doing it at the church, and we ended up having a very successful event, and we've had it in LA ever since. So
wow,
it was crazy. But yeah, all of off of just my flyer.
Yeah,
he looked at the flyers, he asked me questions, and it created this conversation, and then into a brotherhood that's lasted 26 years, 25 years.
I think B-Boy City 6, 7, and 8, I made the flyers, and in the back there were like postcards. Because at the event I will get
because
people's address.
we used to mail cards straight to people.
Yeah, and
now we have email, but before we had to actually mail it.
But the letters, but the letter, they would like send letters back, and telling them how they appreciated the events in those times, right? Because there was no other events, and they're just like, yo, I'm traveling so far away to come to the event, and they was really looking forward to it, right? So I think those events meant a lot to a lot of people.
I still have people to this day all over the world, like, you know, when I go somewhere, they're just like, man, you really like, those events really changed my life.
Yeah.
And these are some people that never have even been to the event. Some of these people have never even been to the event. They're just like, yo, this shit changed my life. Like, it like put me in another direction, you know, from watching the videos and having something to shoot for, you know, and eventually some people, I've had people that have been following it since the beginning to finally go, and they're just like, man, it's better than what I thought. It's more than what I thought, because a lot of people see the videos, they only see the battles, because the battles is what sells. So people watch the battles online, they don't see anything else. They don't see that there's an actual culture behind it with the booth spaces, all the different dance styles, like all the different rooms. Like, it's like Disneyland, but in dance form.
But it's also they see that the brotherhood is there, that you're not alone. You know what I'm saying? I think these events are like great for mental health. You know, like just especially.
Absolutely.
I mean, it saved my life, and I know I continue to. My mom always asked me, "How come you keep doing this?" Because it helped me, Mom. You know what I mean? And it's helping the community and the next generation, right? Especially,
it keeps us
youthful also.
It keeps us youthful too,
and like especially now, the nation is kind of sick right now. You know what I mean? Because there's all this stuff going on as far as shootings and overdose. There's a lot of that stuff going on. But whenever I see our community in these events, I'm like, okay, once they're in here, it's an escape, right? So we gotta, that's why we gotta continue.
You can also see when people are a little bit off and you want to say something to them, but in person.
Ever since I became a first responder, I've seen a lot of deaths. So a lot of these firefighters, they go to therapists, right? And then they always go, what? And they always ask me after that incident, what are you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna go hang out with some B-boys and some B-girls and jam out. And that's my thing.
Hip hop is your therapy.
Hip hop is my therapy. And then without it, and like my next focus is I got Bboy City to worry about, right? And then whenever the event happens, the Pro Breakin tour, all these, it fills my heart, and it creates new memories instead of focusing on the bad stuff, right? So we definitely need to continue these stuff, not just for it's going to be in the Olympics. No, it's bigger than that. Like Cros One, the Olympics is just another lane. This stuff is saving people.
Yeah, like, dude, I'm 48 years old, man. Like, I'm way past being a kid. But it keeps me very youthful, you know, being able to give the same that I've got from breaking and hip hop to give it to other people in the form of my events or whatever I'm doing, you know. So even when I'm DJing, like, you know, that spirit, it keeps the spirit going for the next generation, you know. You know, I know like in hip hop, like people, you know, the older elders, like, which some of us could be like held to that status already. Like, you know, people look at us and they're just like, they don't see us like as old people. They're just like, yo, they're continuing that.
Yeah, we
you know, setting that vibe a lot of times.
Yes, sir. You know? We are the elders, and we know by the mistakes that we made that the next generation don't have to go through that. You know what I mean? Like through your coaching, you're gonna tell them like, yo, you know, you don't have to go through that, because we've learned throughout the years.
Absolutely. One question I've been dying to ask y'all though. One question I've been dying to ask, I'm sure everybody else wants to know as well. I'm gonna start with you, Rome, first. What is the process for your judges selection? What makes you decide who?
Yeah, he just went a whole different direction.
Bboy City.
Yo, I mean, the judging is like it's probably one of the hardest things to decide, right? As far as, you know, first I want to see if they're still active in the community. You know, even if they're not breaking, I want to know if they're in tune to the community, what's going on. You can't be, okay, I was a b-boy from back in the days, you should, you know, have me judge. You're like, no, because this culture is moving so fast. Right. And, you know, and there's moves and there's, you know, there's stuff that's going on with it. So for me, you have to be in tune to what's going on in the community. You have to be involved, right? And that's what I mean. That's one of the main things I look for.
What if somebody isn't up to speed on what's going on in the community, but they're respected as an OG? What is the process for that OG to understand how to
first come to the event?
What does, you know, what do they have to do?
In Austin, they're like, yo, bro, what's up, man? I'm OG. You should bring me out. I said, first of all, we've been doing this for 25, 26, almost 30 years. I ain't ever seen you there. You know what I'm saying? First, come to the event, come to the culture, get to know the culture, get to know and see what's going on, right? So then approach me and be like, what can I do to help? I got you. There's so much stuff in this culture that you can do. There's so much stuff that you can do, right? And then that's how you get in, man. Like even DJs are, yo, Ro, I'm one of the number one DJ in Austin. Put me on. I said, put me on, B.
Yeah, I get so many DJs trying to get on. And it's crazy because I'm from a DJ crew, and nobody in my crew is part of the event. So that tells you how hard it is to crack my lineup.
What they don't understand about our culture on this side is we practice the battle, even the DJs. You know what I'm saying? These DJs are like, they know what's going on. So if you, I'll say, I mean, just come to these events. First, start off that way, come, and then offer your services, and then you will know what you know.
Yeah, be a part of the community. Like it like, you know, for me, like you know, the hustle of being a judge or a DJ or whatever, you know, that's a quasi hustle, you can say, because if you're looking for a lot of work, it can be that. But I think, you know, for events like Bboy City, events like Freestyle Session, these are events that like you can't really like give somebody a resume and be like, I want to work at your event. Like it's not like that. Like for us, it's a community effort. Like if I see that you're putting on for the community, I may ask you to be part of the lineup. If I don't, then just be there. If you keep coming, like there might be a way to get in, either at the event, at an after party, at a pre-party, at a workshop, whatever. Like there's so many things that go on outside of just the big event, you know? But you know, as far as the judging question, like for me, I keep it, I'm a little bit different than a lot of events. Like I try to keep it on brand. So I try to reach from a pool of people that have been to Freestyle Session, that have competed at Freestyle Session. If for some reason I go outside of that, it's like legendary status. Like people like, you know, like Storm, Ken Swift, Swift Rock, you know, people that have this stature of being legendary altogether. Like, you know, and they could be from all over the world. You know, it doesn't have to be that.
Yeah, but those guys are legends, and
that's the bag that I'm coming out of. I'm not just picking somebody because they, you know, they are who they are. You know, like and respect to the people all around the world. But like for me, like I think of Freestyle Session as this big thing, and like, you know, I curate my brand. I curate how the event is going to go from top to bottom, from whether whoever's going to be performing, you know, whoever's judging, whoever's DJing. Like I'm pulling from a bag that's a part of the Freestyle Session bag. It's not just, you know, regular old people, you know, like so. And you know, it makes my job that much harder.
Yes.
Less people that I can pick from.
And also, like, to me, it's working with people that are humble and willing to work with you, because some people are just hard to work with. And
team players.
I'm like, man, this stuff is, you know, it's not easy for us to have in these events, and we've been doing them consistently throughout the years. But the reason I don't bring some people back, because the way I work, I don't want to work with you. No disrespect, it's because you made it so hard for me to just, you know, for you to be part of the event, because you're being a diva for some reason. You know what I mean? Like you don't understand the stuff that we had to go through. And now these days, like we have sponsors now, but you still, you know, being a diva and want so much more. I remember DJ Element first came to Bboy City. I didn't even know he was a Freestyle Session DJ. He just showed up one day, and that's how it was like, yo. Let me come through you. Let me spin on your tables right now. I said, who are you? I said, DJ Element.
That's how he got on the Freestyle Session lineup. He came to Freestyle Session 6. He came to Freestyle Session 6. He was like, yo, I'm a DJ. Can I spin? And I was like, no. Like, what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing here? But he ended up getting on in the funk room. Where we had our booths, and you know, at the end of the event, he was like, yo, thanks for having me. I was like, what do you mean having you? Like, he was like, yo, I was spinning in the other room, and then like my booth was over there, so I asked my boys, I was like, yo, did you hear that dude spinning? They're like, yeah, dope,
let's show. Yo, he ripped it.
So I had got his number, and then we brought him back the next year, and we built a really great friendship, and like, you know, we've done gigs with him.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Element, yo.
he ended up going to Japan with us, like, you know, a couple years later, and yeah, man, like he's like an OG.
Hey, so anybody out there, if y'all want to judge and Cros says no, go into the funk room.
But shout outs to the DJs, man, because I know, like, without the DJs, these events would not happen, right? You know, I learned a lot as far as production from DJ Baby G, you know, 91 DMC champion, but he came to a Montopolis rack and looked at me and be like, Rom, you need help with the sound, right? So, you know.
He's like, you need a lot of help.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know anything.
And Wicket was probably there too, and he was like, "Yup, you do need a lot of help."
So a lot of the promoters, they don't. My main focus on the venue is the sound, right? I don't open the door unless he told me you need to spend 3 hours on sound check. Why? So because the sound is what make people, the b-boys fly, right? This is what the vibe is. So I'm like, okay. So from then on,
yeah, I've gotten an earful. I've gotten an earful from Wicket about my sounds.
Man, let me tell you.
To add a little context to what we're talking about is because Wicket is also a sound engineer, so he's got to know a lot more about sound and the effects it has to the people that are at events.
Yes.
So, you know, I think Wicket too is a prime example of just being able to get more in your bag of, you know, I don't want to say hustle, because like I'm not trying to get people to hustle everybody. I'm saying like the bag of knowledge, being able to do sound design, being able to judge, being able to coach, you know, being able to DJ, host. So those are all things that he can bring to an event. And, you know, like I was able to host going back to Lords of the Floor, because one of the hosts didn't show up. So they were just like, who can host here? And they just was like, Cros, you host Freestyle Session, right? Yeah. Like, can you host for us?
Yo,
like,
Cros.
Sure, why not? You know, like,
man, I want to know. I want to know who didn't show up.
Man, who was it? It might have been Joe. Nah, I don't think it was
Joe Coy
came the next year, but
but guys, like,
yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of, I've gotten a lot of judging gigs because judges didn't show up, and I was just at an event. I was at an event to vend, to sell gear, and then they're just like, "Yo, Cros, can you judge?" Like, one of our judges didn't show up. They didn't hop on the flight or whatever. I've gotten so many judging gigs like that. That's kind of like almost how I even got to become a judge, because so many people were not coming to the events, and they would just be like, "Oh, you know what? You're like next in line, bro." Like, you know, like I was never a big name in the scene. So like, you know, but they knew that I knew my shit. So they were like, "Yo, can you judge?" Like, sure. And then people seen that I'm a decent judge. So I would like to hope so.
That's yo, Cros. I mean, I know. I
think.
Cros, I know it happened to you a lot. Like, you know, bringing people down, the judges and talent, right? And we spend a lot of money and airfare, and some people would just not show up, and be like, yo, so that's business, right? You know, like, you're just kind of burning your bridge. At least give me a heads up, like, yo, I can't, so I can cancel the ticket. You know, don't just, Rome, I can't come to. Yo, that's like, yo, you know, so that's just business etiquette.
And that's not even a bridge.
That's the bridge. That's the bridge.
Like, I wonder why people don't call me no more. I'm like, well, you know, because like Cros hit me up and be like, hey, what do you think about this judge?
Yeah, I'm not one to like knock anybody's hustle, because, you know, a lot of times in breaking, like, you know, the opportunities are very few and far between. So a lot of times, you know, people will say, "Oh yeah, I'll judge your event," and they'll give a price, and, you know, be, you know, a little lower because they wanted that gig. But then maybe another opportunity came where the pay was like triple, or, you know, like some of these people doing movies and stuff, they've gotten 10 times what they would have got in the b-boy scene, and they just like skipped out on the judging. But, you know, like, there's ways to do it. Like, hey, you know, for me, if I've ever had to skip out on an opportunity, I've let the promoters know, like, hey, I have this other actual opportunity. I have to back out, but I'll owe you one. I'll do your next event for free.
Yeah, you got to make it right, you know.
Double, triple, ever more the last one, you know. I mean, if I very rarely back out of stuff, but, you know, there has been instances where you kind of have to sometimes. You know,
communication.
But I've had some just like back out.
Communication is
like one day before, like, and I'm just like, so how are we gonna do this? Like, you're gonna refund me my airfare or what? And I've had people like unfriend me on Facebook, like block me on social media.
How did I become the bad guy?
And like I said, and like I said, I'm not one to like knock anybody's hustles, but I do like hear a lot of chatter in the community when they go, "How come that guy isn't a judge?" or "That guy's not a judge?" Like, you know why a lot of these people that nobody says anything? Because nobody's trying to knock their hustle, but also they kind of jacked up ours. You know, like you left me without a judge, and I had to get somebody else. So I don't never like really.
No, we don't
throw dirt on anybody's names. You know, like I said, I don't even know like how, you know, like I said, there's always kind of a reason, but some people's reasons just suck. But like, it's like open line of communication. Let people know what's going down. You know, and if you can't do it, you can't do it. There's nothing that be done. But, you know, it is kind of like obligation. But, you know, like now it's 2023. It's getting to a point where like breaking is getting to the point where you have to have contracts and everything. So, you know, if you don't have a contract, in place, then it's kind of your fault that, you know, if somebody backs out, because contractually there's nothing there, you know, so. But like for me, everything's been a handshake deal with everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, that's how we know who's legit, right? You know, like, and then shout outs to the soldiers out there that's always putting in work, right? No questions asked. They're putting in work, and they deserve the most out of everybody. Like, yo, like, I'm here, Ron. What you want me to do? I'm here to help. And those are the ones that holds the backbone to these events. The community.
It's always like that in the scene too. Like, there's people that, you know, when they're at an event, that they're there to help, and they're not really asking
no questions asked, man.
Like, you know, and those are the people that you want to take care of. You want to
take care of them.
Make sure that they're taken care of.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know?
Yeah, you know, and I kind of want to go back to one of the reasons why I kind of stepped away from judging. I know we hopping way back, but I just felt like I was judging an event, and I felt like there's so much more I could be offering.
Yes, sir.
Now.
Dr. Wick.
Because in between of the competition, like the prelims, there was like a 10-minute break, and we go back into the room. You guys know what it is. We go back into the room. We figure out who the top 16 are. You have about 10 more minutes to do your thing before we get started, because it's going to be a long day. So within those 10 minutes, I go outside. Let me just get in a cypher a little bit. Let me just get some rocking. Let me do a little footwork, do some like Air Flare 90s and stuff, you know. But anyway, so I'm messing around, and then all of a sudden, it seems like a circle just hovers, and they're trying to do the same step I'm doing. Or, hey, Wicket, can you show me this thing you posted on IG the other day? It just turned into like a little workshop. So I'm thinking, like, while the competition continues, I'm sitting there like, man, I only had like 10 seconds to teach these guys, and I could have been, what if I had my own booth during an event, during the prelims, teaching people for free? What if I could DJ the youth battle? What if I could do, you know, I just started thinking of things, how else can I offer
there you
help?
go. There you go. That's the word right there.
You know, so then that's what made me realize I need to step away from judging, man, because one, I loved it, but it became I was too reliant on it. Like,
did you really love it though?
Actually, I actually did, you know, and it brought me closer to who the competitors were. We were able to talk. I was able to explain myself why, even though they're not asking or looking. But you know, it just got to a point where it felt like, okay, this is feeling kind of stagnant. I kind of need to do something else to help.
Yeah, you know your role in a community.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I was just trying to figure out, like, what else can I do? It can't just be judging, because I'm sitting here for 6 hours, and this is not it. You know, so when you asked me to judge at South by, I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to jump on that seat again, because I felt like I saw everything from the outside, from afar, and I felt like, okay,
come back in.
I think I have a different understanding of how I would be useful as a judge now, rather than what I'm used to. It kind of gave me a break to see what else is going on in the scene, with the level, with who's competing, with the moves that are being thrown now, and the structure of every. So it was just like, okay, I think it's time. Let me see. And,
but you know, when you're getting a lot of when you're doing a lot of gigs and you're just judging, like, you start using that as a crutch almost, like you're like kind of relying on that. as being, you know, kind of like the bread and butter of how you're making money and etc. You know, like for me, it's always been like a side thing. Like, you know, if I could do it, I could do it. If not, you know, I like DJing after parties. You know, that's one of my things that I like to do. I like to have a booth at events. That's a way to, you know, pay for my tickets a lot of times. Like, I'm not trying to like get rich doing booths. Yeah. Like, that's just my excuse to get somewhere, you know? Like, I could go somewhere, make a couple $100, pay for my hotel, pay for my way around, you know, and then get back home and get back to business, you know? Because I make money outside of breaking, like doing, you know, my Turo cars and stuff like that, you know, like just renting out cars and, you know, my online, you know, shopping. And I have an eBay store. I sell eBay stuff. I sell like, you know, cards, like baseball cards and stuff like that. So like there's other ways to hustle to make money. Like for the scene aspect, it's like there's nothing that I really like want to put a crutch on, you know, like, oh, I'm going to use judging is going to be my way to get around and get everywhere, you know, like because you know, once you rely on that, once you rely on just one thing, like it doesn't become fun anymore, you know, like you're just like, man, I'm doing this every week. It's like, it's not really fun. I don't want to do it. Like, oh man, I got to get on this flight to go judge, like, you know.
So like me, like preparing for Bboy City is like, I've always looked at like, I'm not gonna become a millionaire of these events, the community, just enough, you know, get the resources and the tools to do the event. You know, I see it as I'm creating this cake. Every year I create a cake and just spread it out to everybody.
It's like your birthday party.
Yeah, it's my birthday party. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, yeah, we made money, but we gave it away. We gave it out. Every time there's an event, there's a cake that's being made and everybody eats off of it, right? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, I have my piece and everybody had their piece, but the celebration happened. And that was my main key. But every year we look for, put our resources together and funds, try to find it to make it happen. You know, it's always a challenge. People don't see that from behind the scenes, you know.
I think in the scene, a lot of, like, you know, promotions gets a bad rap because like it's very easy to point the finger at the promoter and blame everything on us, you know.
But like, forever and ever, that we've always like, I work my ass off to help cultivate this culture, to feed it, always feed it. I've never like wanted to get rich off of this. No way, man. To me, I just like it was a joy for me to see it on this level, right? It makes me happy that like, we don't have to struggle like that anymore, and it's happening. And then me and Cros talked about it, like we couldn't even retire and it'll keep going. Before I like, we can't stop, because if we stop, like that's why I was doing 2 events at a time every year, because if I stop, they will do something else. The kids will do something else, right?
Yeah, you just felt like the attention would go away, and then, you know, for me, it's always been like if it not only just ends here, but if it becomes less interesting in America, it becomes less interesting all around the world.
And everywhere else, we keep it fresh.
Yeah. So that's been like the driving force of just keeping Freestyle Session going, any events, and then now like the tour, like we keep it going because it's like the beginning of the wave all the way around the world, you know. And you know, the wave around the world might be a little bigger in Europe and bigger in Asia,
that first pebble.
And it comes back around, you know.
We threw that first pebble, and it just kept going and became a tsunami outside.
Rome over here tossing pebbles.
You over here glorifying your pebble, man.
But you know the metaphor, you said.
But anyways, we're going over the tour anyway. So like we kicked off the Pro Breaking Tour a couple weeks ago in Washington D.C. DJ Flegg was our promoter contact over there, and he also DJ'd. And it was called Top Notch in Washington D.C. Yeah, it was a one-on-one battle. We kind of turned around very quickly because from getting our sponsor to getting that one done was like super quick, like maybe 4 weeks. So didn't really get as much promo, you know, oomph as we like, but it was crazy because we had over 50 people battle there. We had Rocks right there. Is a Dr. Q or Dr. K, not Dr. Q, Dr. K.
Filipino dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to the breakers that actually are doing something aside from breaking. We got Rome over here, firefighters saving lives. We got doctors in the building. Shout out to Session. You know, that's a beautiful thing.
And it was crazy too because you know, when I was first getting there, some of the invited guests was like Mace from Arizona. We had Nels One from Breakin MIA, and I was thinking that those guys would probably be in the finals, but Mace got beat by DQ, and then Nels One got beat by Dr. K, and then DQ and Dr. K was in the finals. It was pretty good.
That's what's up, man.
Check it out on YouTube. And yeah, it was dope to have some new fresh faces also come up. So we actually are gonna have medals for them. We just kind of late on getting the medals together too, but we'll get them out to all the competitors that won. And then this weekend, well, hopefully by the time we get this out, it'll be this weekend. It'll be Massive Monkeys. If not, Massive Monkey just happened, but yeah, Massive Monkey Day this weekend. And then July 1st is gonna be Rock City, which is going to be a first freestyle session qualifier.
Where's that one going to be, Cros? Okay.
It's going to be in LA. More than likely, it's going to be at the church in Pasadena.
Wow.
We did Freestyle Session 5.
The historic church.
Bring us some nostalgia back. So we'll see. We'll have more about that in the next podcast or the write-up for this podcast. And yeah, man, I'm excited to do this and just get more of the feel of it. This is kind of like a test run pilot episode, so bear with us with a lot of stuff. And I'm glad you, Romeo, were able to get down with it, and Wicket. Thanks for the intro. And yeah, man, what do you guys got coming up in the next couple weeks anyway?
Next couple weeks for me, let's see, man. I got the BreakBook tour.
Yeah.
I got my own tour, y'all. I got my own tour. It's basically.
That's what's up. Tour talk, baby.
Let's talk about the tour.
It's a workshop tour based on competitors that want to understand how to structure the rounds and basically get past the prelims. Because a lot of the times when I'm teaching, I realize most of the people that are in the workshop are high-level competitors. Mm-hmm. So I figured, okay, let me create this tour and just really focus on people that want to compete. Now, everyone could take part, but it's more geared to how to structure your rounds and how to practice. And it's crazy, man, because this is something that I talked about. Like, I want to do something where I can just help everyone and not have to rely on piggybacking off of an event. Let me just do a workshop tour.
Yeah.
And it works. So it's the first year I've been doing this, and
what cities are you hitting?
We did one in Austin.
This weekend,
Colorado, right? Colorado also.
Yeah, we started in Austin. We did Denver. This weekend I'm hitting Raleigh, North Carolina.
Nice.
I'm going to Maui. Hitting Seattle, hitting Boston. I mean, it's crazy. Like, after people have seen some of the footage that I posted, they're just hitting the DMs. When can we book you? When can we book you? So I'm realizing, like, this was an actual type of service that was needed, but I didn't necessarily know how to offer it until I experimented with the first one in Austin.
That's what's up, man. It's just like you said, just being able to be creative with what you have to offer the scene.
Absolutely.
And things kind of like when you showcase these talents and these things that you're offering, then the masses are who dictates what they want. So if they want you to do it, they're going to
think of ways that you can contribute to the culture, right? And then it will give back to you 10 times, right? As for me, Cros, I got Bboy City on my mind. I got this week I'm writing a bunch of international letters. I know people have been hitting me up. That's been going on for years. These international letters are getting these international cats.
I got a whole email. So
those letters will get them inside the country to compete, right? And also checking out the venues. And you guys know that I'm having a film festival with Austin Film Society here on that Friday. So I know we have all these stories, but I want to see the visuals of these stories. Like, I want to see the visual of Cros, Wicket. They're only 10-minute segments, but I think that I'm like, with the films, the short film, street stories, like, I know we talk about it on the podcast, but I want the visuals, like the behind the scenes, if you can start creating those, and we have this film society to back us up. They gave me 4 hours, so I'm allowed to do a 4-hour just clips of footage.
Yeah, I was trying to get Coney Rock to do.
He
some of our documentary.
He hit me up on Facebook, so I think he should try to open that line of communication.
Yeah, because we're working on a documentary about
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you guys could do it like a 10-minute.
Yeah, trying to give him a little nudge, like, "Hey, Coney, if you're watching this,
come on, man,
let's get it done."
Let's if you can come out, like, I know you also working on a documentary, right, Wick? Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So maybe you can get like a 10-minute teaser about it, right?
Yeah,
and you can just show like it's coming up.
Right.
So.
Yeah, has Rylan and Lily hit you?
Yeah, so
okay.
I've been doing so much stuff. I make my, I separate my days. Like this week's the letters, next week be the film festival.
Okay,
that's how I kind of break everything down.
We'll lock it in.
And for me, for the Pro Breaking Tour, I'm not going to be able to make it to Massive Monkey Day because I got hired to do judging. I just got my certification for WDSF. Got my A rating, baby. So I'm going to be judging the Pan American Championships in Santiago, Chile. And then next month I'll be in Switzerland for Freestyle Session Europe. We got a crazy lineup for that.
Rome, just mute your mic, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Just take it off. Yeah, and then so Freestyle Session Europe, and then
fucking dog.
Just mute your mic, man. See, the dog likes hearing about what I've got to talk about. So
it's not. Let me mute it. It's not.
And then afterwards, I have.
What about now?
I think you gotta mute it, Cros.
Why the dog hating, man? Why the dog hating, bro?
Cros, I think you got.
But anyways,
I think you gotta mute his mic. Okay, we good now. We good. I know he ain't.
Yeah, it's all good. He's like, the dog's like, you guys have been doing this for long enough.
Hey, I'm on the.
Oh shit. So wait a minute, you going to Switzerland?
Hey, yeah, I'm going to Switzerland for Freestyle Session Europe. That mic is so hot.
What happened?
That mic is crazy. But yeah,
so you said Switzerland.
In June, I'll be in Switzerland for Freestyle Session Europe. And then a couple weeks after that, July 1st is going to be Rock City, which is going to be the first Freestyle Session qualifier. So whoever wins there is going to have a top 16 slot at the Freestyle Session World Finals later this year in November. So, and we'll have that more on those events like later on in the next episodes. But yeah, man, it's about to be wrapped up because we've done
wait
minutes of podcasting, baby.
Hold up. Before we wrap it up, I got a secret to tell y'all, man. I got a secret to tell y'all. It's crazy. Renegade's anniversary, Renegade's 40th year anniversary, September 30th. It's a 3v3, right? But when you hit the final, so you could pick whoever you want at the venue to join your crew, and it'll turn into a 10 on 10 for the finals.
Oh wow!
Just to make things a little interesting.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah. September 30th. Okay.
So I'm gonna have to enter then. I'm gonna have to bring my hitters. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to bring my hitters ahead.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Come with the squad. Well, Renegades is Bboy City champion.
Oh, well, yeah. They
that's
won
right.
last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was
a last year? Oh no.
Yeah, they won last year.
Did you guys win last year, or was it
last year?
Last year.
No, last year.
Yeah, that was huge.
Oh wow, damn.
Yeah, at the amphitheater.
You sure? Yeah. I thought BC1 All Stars won.
No, that was the year before.
Oh, I didn't go down. The year before. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, my years are getting screwed up.
That's all.
But yeah, man, thank y'all for thanks for getting with us. Check out www.probreakingtour.com for the Pro Breaking Tour schedule. You can follow Wicket, you can follow Romeo, you can follow myself. We'll put our social media in the description. And yeah, man, tour talk.